bit of drugs.
Little bit of drugs should be
Just
like
a little bit.
that should be the, where you go.
A little bit.
Yeah, like a Brittany Griner. They should have a Brittany Griner amount that you can bring a vape pen. Come on, you're not selling a vape pen.
Amount. Wasn't hers just CBD too?
No, I don't know.
Was it actually weed?
I'm certain it was.
Who knows if it actually even happened? They might have just planted that on her.
We were going to go to Russia to promote the movie. Yeah, promote the movie. Why not?
Are you kidding me?
Okay. You sound like Sony right now. So, what if I get arrested?
They're not going to send someone for you.
But
Look at me.
How good would the movie do?
You're not a 6.5 foot tall lesbian that is the star of the WNBA.
Would you,
no.
Hang on, let's work this out. Would you? I bet.
But there's a Marine that's in jail over there, and they had the option to release him or release Brittany Griner, and they released Brittany Griner.
For real?
Yeah.
Wait, what did the Marine do? Weed?
No. Some sort of classified information he had.
Would you try to get me out?
I forget what the actual. Of course I would. I don't know. I forget what the actual charge was. So you can find that. But he was doing something like trying to sneak out classified information from Russia. That's what he's like.
A little different than a vape pen.
Yeah, it is. But they're both in jail.
Yeah.
And they offered this arms dealer that we traded for Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
They offered the arms dealer for the Marine guy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and they said no. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's this goofy administration that we're dealing with right here. Look, both of them should be saved. Talks continue on exchange of U.S. ex-Marine held in Russia. So this is December 8th, 2023? 2022, rather, sorry. Duh. So this was a while ago.
You know Putin's got to listen to your podcast, right?
I hope so. Hey, what's up, bro?
I guarantee you, all you have to do
Guy's got solid judo.
Does he?
Yep. Yeah, I praise him on his judo. He's got legit judo. He's a judo black belt.
If he wanted to fly you over, would you?
Nay.
Wait, what's wrong with your brain? I would love that.
Why would you do that?
I would love it.
Because if anything, do you know the story about Robert Kraft in the Super Bowl ring?
Where he took his ring and put it on and then kept it?
Yeah. He's like, let's kill someone with this ring.
I'd lose this watch in a heartbeat.
And he just walks away. Yeah, you would lose that watch in a heartbeat, but no one cares about a watch. He can get a watch, but he can't get a Super Bowl ring. So he just took the Super Bowl ring. Dude, that's a different kind of human. He's probably one of, if not the richest man in the world. And, the fact that he just did that to that dude and just walked off with that ring.
But what about the prospect of you hanging out with Putin and turn him into a cooler dude?
Of your fucking mind. Yeah, hey, forget about all those people that you killed that were your political opponents. Let's be cool now. Just be a different person now. Be a totally different human with a totally different background that wasn't in the KGB, that isn't a dictator, that doesn't control information and control what news gets distributed to your people, that doesn't have a lockdown on the internet and is in complete control of all the oligarchs in your country to the point where they're so embedded with you that when you go to war with Ukraine, they steal the oligarchs' yachts because they confiscate them because they shouldn't have the money that they have, because the only way they could have the money they have is if they're in cahoots with you, and you're obviously evil.
You're never going to get an invite talking this way.
Yeah, it's not my gig.
You don't care about any of that shit, though. I still want to meet Kim Jong-un.
Whoa.
Yeah. Shit like that interests me.
What interests me is Trump meeting him. That was interesting.
Met Kim Jong-un?
After he called him Little Rocket Man, he goes to meet him. Shakes his hand. They're all smiling. Yeah, it's that's a awful game. You're meeting dictators. I mean, if you're the president of the United States like Trump, but you're trying to make, foreign relationships better, you're supposed to do that. It's good.
Oh, wow.
Look at that look in his face.
2 haircuts.
It's also the fucking mocking glare that Trump gives everyone. Because it's like with Trump, when Trump's talking to someone, it's always like, be nice or I'm going to talk shit. It's like, no matter what, it's like, I may talk shit. Like, well, let's get through this. Let's have an agreement. Hey, nice to meet you too. Don't say nothing or I'll talk shit. Like, even the way this smug, like, look on his face while he's shaking hands with the guy.
All right.
What
so
a fucking character.
This is a adjacent conversation.
Look at that. That's the border.
Oh, that's where they met?
That's
right
the
at
line.
the parallel?
That's the fucking line.
Imagine the guy that installed those grates. That's two different companies. Obviously, not one company installed both those grates.
I know, right? It has to be. But what about the building? How the fuck is there one building that crosses both lines?
Who built that building?
Who built that fucking building? Did they meet in the middle? The North Korea thing is wild. When I had Yeonmi Park on and she explained how she got out of North Korea when she was 13, how she escaped and went to China, and like, wow.
That was
It's one of those stories you're like, holy shit. She's talking about how people are starving in North Korea. Those are the kind of people that don't want to hear nothing about all this Marxism and woke communist bullshit. They don't want to hear nothing about that because they know this is where this goes. What they said to all those people there, they said, we can all have food if everyone just gives up their land. All these people that own land, they're the problem. We give up the land, then we'll all have the land. And the moment they did that, the moment people agreed to that, everybody's starving. Then the government controls the food distribution, and if you try to take more than your share, you get killed. It's horrific shit what they did. Horrific shit. But it all was under the guise of making a more equitable society, making a more fair and just world. Like, why should these rich people have these farms? Why should we should give it to the state? Yeah. And then all of a sudden the state is in control and everybody's starving. People are eating bugs, just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, I didn't watch that episode.
It's rough. But that's the problem with, like, shaking hands with a dictator. Like, what are you doing?
What's the difference? I mean, arguably, I'm obviously, I know I'm going to get lit up for saying this, but what's the difference between shaking hands with our president?
It's a big difference.
But
the way this country is run, it's not perfect. But the way this country is run is so fucking superior to any system that is anywhere else in the world because of the checks and balances that were put in place by the founding fathers. They knew that tyranny is a natural course of progression for human nature. It's just what people do when they get in control. They become dictators, and they put all these checks and balances in the House and the Senate, and they did it all with the Electoral College to make sure that this term limits, make sure that you can't do that. Yeah. Make sure you can't do what Putin's doing. Make sure you can't do what Kim Jong-un's doing. Because when you get into a position like that, just look at what they try to do. Look at what people try to do to stop criticism on Twitter. They fucking send the FBI to Twitter to try to remove people from Twitter because they're saying things that interferes with the way they govern.